Hello everyone and welcome to another video. You all voted for it. Today I'll rank every boss introduced in Yokai Watch 2. I already did this for Yokai Watch 1, and this is the updated tier list for that, within the context of both Yokai Watch 1 and 2. This list will also just be within the context of Yokai Watch 2, so appearances in later games don't count. I won't be factoring in Psychic Blasters, as I still haven't really played it, except the Psychic Blaster exclusives. A lot of the main story bosses I've already talked a lot about in my video about 2's story, so go watch that. Now let's just get to the ranking. Dead last at 27 is unsurprisingly Mega Nyan. He's barely even a boss, doesn't even have a gimmick, extremely weak, and is fought right at the start of the chapter instead of the end of the previous one, like basically every other boss. I talked more about him in my 2's story video. 26 is the Muncher. I'm not talking about him in the main game as he isn't a boss. More of a boss than Mega Nyan at least. I'm talking about his appearance in Psychic Blasters. While not appearing in the boss medallion, he's still a boss in this mode. I haven't actually fought him or any boss in this mode except Gargros and Sproink, and all the Psychic Blaster exclusives are low due to the unlock requirements, which is complete BS and why I haven't really played this mode. He's below the others as this is proof he could have, and in my opinion should have, been an actual boss in this main story, instead of just being a strong regular yokai. Once again, I already talked more about this, so let's move on. Another Psychic Blaster exclusive, Rubius J is 25. Once again, I haven't played this mode, but I like Hardy Hound's design more. 24 is Hardy Hound. I like his design more than Rubius J. The final Psychic Blaster exclusive, He Knows All, is 23. He's above others as, well, it's He Knows All. He's really cool, and I guess he kind of serves as the ultimate challenge boss, which I will make a video about someday. But basically this includes Wobble Walk, Arcanos, Cat Cradle, Kaboo King, Zenlightner, Shogun King, and a couple others. Also, Rubius J, Hardy Hound, and He Knows All are all version exclusive bosses, making them even less accessible. 22 is iClone. Getting back to story bosses. Number 1, the eye gimmick has already been done, and even done better with other bosses in this game. Number 2, you can hit all the eyes for damage, making the fight a bit easier. Number 3, his hand eyes never reopen, which is stupid. I once again already talked about it more, so let's get to the next one. 21 is Gutsy Bones. As much as I like his design and most other things about him, like I've said before, I don't really think he's a well-designed boss. He's way too weak. Once his heart is exposed, he has the same problem as iClone, being able to deal damage to 2 places at once, and you can just avoid half his attacks by just targeting the crow. Now, one commenter, Toa Nemart, pointed out how you wouldn't know to target the crow on your first playthrough, and also introduces the player to the target feature for things other than targeting the boss, which I'm surprised I didn't think about, though all my criticisms still apply on a repeat playthrough. I also already talked about him and even beat him with a team of level 1 E ranks with no items in the Yokai Watch 2 story video. Also, all his voice lines are very iconic. What's this? Do you have it? Retinado is number 20. I've already talked about why I dislike iClone, but Retinado is better as he is stronger, which makes the being able to deal damage with all 3 eyes not as bad. Points do get taken away as he is exclusive to Mystery Way, which you do need multiple versions for it, though nowhere near as bad as Psychic Blaster's version exclusives, as with them you need to do all the unlock requirements on separate save files, whereas Mystery Way can be gotten way easier by just sailing the 7 seas to get all versions, if you know what I mean. Also, I've always found his name to be really weird. You have iClone, I am Cyclone, Ifun, I am Typhoon, and both a tornado or a hurricane are similar to both a cyclone and a typhoon. So you'd think they'd stick with having I in the name and call him Tornado or Hurricane, but nope. I know that retina is something to do with eyes, but still, he definitely has the worst colour scheme of him and his variant, but at least Tornado is a thing in 3. Number 19 is Goldie Bones. Gutsy Bones without his biggest problem being weak. Now he can be fought at any time, as he is a post-game boss, so technically if you have a team of level 99s, he'll be weak, but he still has all of Gutsy's other problems, which is why he's still low. The best of the 3 eye natural disaster bosses is Ifun at 18. Well, I think iClone's colour scheme is the best. Ifun isn't far behind. Similar to Retinado, but he's the Gate of Whimsy boss, which is annoying grinding gate globes, but I do like Gates of Whimsy, especially the ones before Ifun. Also actually has much more of a personality. The final bones is Glitzy at 17. The strongest of the bones, and there's the reason he's the best, as you can still find somewhat of a challenge when refighting him with level 99 yokai. It does require all 3 versions, but like I've said, it's not that hard to mod your 3DS, though to be fair I still haven't done it, but I will at some point, and commit yar har. 16 is Hedda's Team, my first post-game boss both times I've played this game. Not too interesting, you just need to target his valves over and over when they start to fill up, which is annoying, though his strength makes him quite a good challenge as a first post-game boss. At number 5 we have Malice. I talked about his gimmick and even a bit of lore in my last video, so watch that. I think he has good difficulty for a post-game boss, but his gimmick isn't too interesting, and like with iClone, has been done better by other bosses in this game. Good design though, and fits the tunnel. 14 is Hands Galore. Both him and his recolor I originally forgot, so I just sort of had to slot them in somewhere. While having the better colour scheme and being stronger, I still think Handsful is better, as I like his quest and how it gives more lore to Dr. Madaman. Handsful is number 13. Gimmick is good. You have to target his light things, whatever they are, which deal damage when they're destroyed, and prevents him from using certain attacks. After that, the lights go out, in which you have to target him or all your attacks miss. His light things even come back. I'm looking at you, iClone. 12 is Kin and Gin. I once again talked about them already, but my main problem is that they're too weak. I've also heard a lot of people didn't actually know you can target the time stone, thus making it harder. It would be a bit lower, as if they were stronger I would really like this fight, but they are higher because of story importance. Also, when you refight them using Nathaniel's team, it's one of my favourite parts of the main story, as it's really cool using someone else's yokai. Flippa and Floppa is number 11. Kinning in, but obviously stronger, and I do quite like this fight. Could have still been a wee tiny bit stronger, but that's me being really nitpicky. Just making the top 10 is Cap'n Rex. I do actually really like the gimmick of him turning the yokai wheel, lower than Cap'n Crash due to him being in the main story and also having the better colour scheme. 9 is Cap'n Crash. Literally my only nitpick with him is that I don't like his key quest, as you'll see in my Yokai Watch 2 story video. Perfectly good boss otherwise. Kin, Gin and Bronzo is number 9. This is like the perfect Kin and Gin fight. It's really challenging for a post-game boss, and this is the kind of difficulty, maybe a wee bit less, than I expected from Kin and Gin when I first saw them in a trailer. Bronzo really adds a lot, like having to watch out for one more time stone, or as in Spirits, or when he gets hit both Kin and Gin get stat increases. I'm not saying the OG fight should have had Bronzo, I just think it could have been better if it was harder. Dun dun dun! Dame Dead Time is number 7. I've talked about her twice before, both in the final boss video and the Yokai Watch the story video, and I'm not repeating everything a third time, though most people know about the massive difficulty spike. Despite the difficulty spike, I do actually really like her gimmick, and she's also important to the story, you know, being the final boss and all. Dame Dreadful is number 6. Dame Dead Time without the difficulty problem. Really good fight. Number 5 is Dame Demona. Whilst yes, she still suffers from the difficulty spike, by the time you get to her, your team is probably going to be high enough level anyway. I like her attacks with stealing things. Watch the final boss video if you want to know more. Infinity is number 4. He was originally going to be all the way at number 12, but as I fought him while writing this, I realised, this is a really good boss fight. A prime example of the eye gimmick being done better. He and his 6 eyes will rotate with your yokai wheel. Unlike iClone, each eye has health and can be closed. Unlike iClone, the eyes reopen, and decently quickly too. And you have plenty of spirits to keep you rotating the yokai wheel. The whole multiple targets dealing damage thing, I think actually makes this fight more fair, as he is really strong. Definitely the most underrated boss. Number 3 is the Tanuki, T-Destroyer. His main attacks I do like, with his spirits, pretty strong regular attacks, and even his ultimate. His main gimmick is, like Tanukis do, he'll sometimes transform into one of the objects in the background, and you have to target which one he is. If you get it right, he gets stunned. You can tell which object he is, as each object will change, like the drawers will turn red and has his belly, or the TV will have a Tanuki tail on it. Why do I like this fight so much? I don't know, it's just something about it that I like. Also, this is the boss of Jibakoma quest, so that gives points, I guess. Also, skip this timestamp if you want to actually look at this yokai the same way again. As you know, T-Destroyer is based on a Tanuki, and his bell in between his legs are his balls. I'm not joking, Tanukis are known for using their large testicles to transform into things. Heck, there's even a famous Japanese nursery rhyme about Tanuki testicles. It was like looking at this yokai, or I guess Tom Nook as well, the same way again. The yokai, the myth, the legend. Number 2 is Cat Cradle. By far the hardest boss in all of Yokai Watch. The ultimate challenge. Yet another example of the eye gimmick being done better. She'll lock your yokai wheel and do insanely strong damage, and even sometimes multiple times in a row. I feel the whole multiple targets dealing damage is necessary here, due to her strength. Unlike basically every other boss, you can't just win with any old level 99 yokai, you have to have a specific strategy. This is what Team I used. I can't even imagine trying to beat her without items. Number 1, he truly is the Great Kabuking. Not as hard as Cat Cradle, as you kinda can just beat him with any old level 99 S ranks, but I still consider him an ultimate challenge boss. I generally really like his attacks and design. He also has his whole Gera Gera Land quest, and has a lot of personality. Extremely powerful, and his umbrella attack is really difficult to avoid, but something that I love about this fight. Also, this fight uses versus classic yokai, and we all know how good that song is. Also, is it just me who remembers his ultimate being called Blossom Barrage instead of Bloom Barrage? Is this some sort of Mandela effect, or have I just read things wrong? Well, that was every boss introduced in Yokai Watch 2. Quite a bit was changed around mid-writing, which is annoying as I have to change a bunch of numbers. The next video will be about Clown Time and the red box, as it was the second most popular option on the poll I did a bit ago. Or if it's changed now, then I guess I'll do a video on whatever it is now. Though it's probably still on Clown Time and the red box. All of those videos are getting made, by the way, so don't feel too sad if the one that you voted for didn't win. As usual, like and sub if you like this and want to see more, and comment your favourite boss in Yokai Watch 2. Not much else to say, so I'll see you in the next one.